welcome you to the Scruffy City, where for the first time tonight, the USL League One playoffs arrive in Knoxville. It is the Players' Shield winning one Knoxville SC hosting 8th-seeded Charlotte Independence. And today's match is presented by Markman's Diamonds, Knoxville's hometown jeweler. We say hello and welcome on a rainy night in Rocky Top. Here is your look at the USL League One playoff bracket. This the third of 4 quarterfinal fixtures in the competition. The winner of this one getting FC Naples after Naples toppled the defending champions on penalties last night. On the other end of the bracket, 7th-seeded Portland upsetting Chattanooga. So it sets the stage for a fun one here in Knoxville this afternoon. Well, it is a Knoxville side that boasts the best home field advantage in the entire league. 11 wins, 4 draws, unbeaten on their home patch at Covenant Health Park. The first team to do that since North Texas in 2020. And when you look at the numbers, they are one of the more well-rounded sides in the division, but that manifests itself most here at home. Just 7 goals allowed in their 15 matches here on home soil. A big part of that success is Kempis Tequila, someone who's moved back into more of a creative midfield role after playing up front for the bulk of last year, but still incredibly productive. You see those numbers on your screen. His partnership with Babacar Dieng has been the highlight of their attack all season long. Well, on the opposite end of things, this is a Charlotte side that did back into the postseason on the final day. And when you look at the numbers against playoff teams, they leave a lot to be desired. Just 13 points from 16 matches against top 8 sides this year. But the important thing to note about that is they did take 4 points against Knoxville, including a 3-1 victory over 1 Knox in May. So that's definitely a key plot twist in this one. A big part of their success going forward this year is Christian Cheney. He anchors the 4th best attack in USL League One. Of course, 4 straight years with double-digit goals, including this one. And if Charlotte is to pull the monster upset, he will be the player to watch up front. Well, we are just about set for kickoff in the 3rd of 4 quarterfinal matches in USL League One. Top-seeded 1 Knox hoping to make a statement against upset-minded Charlotte Independence. Stick with us, lineups and kickoff when we return from Rocky Top.
Blew my mind away.
It's not just a nationwide company that's trying to get your money and then jacking up your prices every other month.
$65 a month, every month, no questions asked.
It's so fast.
So my speeds have quadrupled, actually.
Believe me, you will see the difference.
If you can get KUB fiber in your neighborhood, get it.
10 out of 10, I would recommend it.
We welcome you back to Knoxville, where we are just about set for kickoff in the 3rd of 4 USL League One quarterfinal matches from Rocky Top. 1 Knox looking to continue its surging form against 8th-seeded Charlotte Independence. And now it's time for our starting 11s, presented by the fastest internet in the world, KUB Fiber. For Ian Fuller, his side unchanged from the 1-0 victory that clinched the Players' Shield last week against Greenville Triumph. We've already mentioned the duo of Babacar Dieng and Kempis Tequila, but keep your eye between the sticks on Sean Lewis, one of the top goalkeepers in all of USL League One. On the opposite end of things for Mike Jeffries, he pivots, makes two changes from what was a 2-0 defeat at FC Naples. A potential change in formation as well. This may look like a 4-back out of possession, but also could pivot into a 5-back very quickly. So a lot of variables on the cards for Mike Jeffries' men. Well, this is the big one for One Knox, a side that has not suffered defeat on its home patch and now is home field throughout the entirety of the USL League One playoffs. Ian Fuller mentioning that now it is about upping the intensity. Knoxville with a target on its back, and they face their first playoff test against Charlotte Independence. We welcome you into Rocky Top. Sam Goldfarb taking you every step of the way from Covenant Health Park. One Knox hoping to continue its fantastic form that saw it end the year with 6 wins from its final 8 regular season matches. Take on one of the league's perennial postseason sides in Charlotte. And already a man down for Knoxville. That may be Stavros Zarakostis, who is just climbing back to his feet now. Already an early concern for one of Knoxville's top creative players as you check out our Bush's Best instant replay. Cesar Costas just clattered into by what appeared to be Pele Usmanu, who's back in the 11 for the first time in the better part of a month. Appears content to continue though. This is bashed long towards Suebu Maru, who's one of the new introductions into the lineup. Now Sorensen. Baccaro. Working cross to the back post. Run down by Ajay. For Knoxville, built on their defense. The best defense in the league with just 26 goals allowed, and we show you those numbers off the top. Just 7 of those goals being conceded at Covenant Health Park. By contrast for Charlotte, this is a side that is incredibly prolific going forward, but has shipped the joint 4th most goals in the division. Think about the way they've closed the year with just 3 wins from their final 18 league matches. The defensive concerns have been the biggest thing holding them back. Reared their head again in the 2-0 defeat at Naples, a match in which they were promising, according to Mike Jeffries, but just didn't get the job done. Here's Baccaro. Cuts this across, but it is snuffed out by Jaheim Brown. Sorensen. Skipping past Zarakostis. Now beyond Brown. Just ran out of space on the near side. There's your first look at Sean Lewis, the 33-year-old between the sticks. Missed the first 6 matches in all comps with a preseason injury, and Ian Fuller said it took him some time just to get back to top gear, especially due to the fact that they made some tactical tweaks between last season and when he took over prior to this one. But still ending the year in fine form. The joint 2nd most clean sheets in the league, a save rate that eclipses 70% comfortably. He's been an established veteran in his 3 years with One Knox and untouchable whenever healthy between the sticks. Big part of the reason why this side has conceded just 26 goals in 30 league matches entering today. Here's Spielman, veteran defender for Charlotte. This is Sorensen, an involved presence early. Out wide for Baccaro. Spinning this in, comes off the head of Maru, but rather routine for Lewis in the end. It was a tense match last week for One Knox. Ian Fuller mentioning that when he took the job this winter, one of the primary goals he set with his squad was to finish atop the league. Of course, heading into last week, knew that a win would eradicate any semblance of doubt. A draw would likely be more than enough. His side felt the pressure. Didn't take a number of early opportunities to nudge themselves in front, but felt the defense is what anchored their side. As you get your look at the first-year head coach, Ian Fuller, a monumental accomplishment. His first year as a professional head coach, guiding One Knox to the Players' Shield title and into their first home playoff match. The biggest area of improvement, when you look at their numbers, are in the goal scoring. A club record 43 goals, compared to last season when they did finish 5th in the league, but scored the least tallies in the division. So that is the biggest area of growth that he has overseen, and he's mentioned especially in the second half of the campaign as he's grown more comfortable understanding his players' skill sets. He's been able to deploy them in the best possible positions to succeed. His counterpart, Mike Jeffries, is no stranger to a moment like this. He's guided Charlotte to their 4th consecutive USL League One playoffs since dropping down from the championship ranks. Of course, best known for taking them into the League One final 2 years ago. Fell on penalties in the Dogwood Derby in that one. This is Jaime. Looks for Toby Adewole and overcooks it. Probably finds himself in a bit of bother. And now chip long for Stuart Ritchie, who's not shy about bombing forward and has numbers in support. Ritchie's cross, denied by Knight, and out for the match's first corner. Well, there's Amal Knight's first involvement, a veteran of USL League One. As you take a look at our instant replay, it's a cross that's a little too tight on him. Ritchie trying to split the gap between Tequila and Dien, and instead it's out for our first corner kick, presented by Precision Concrete Solutions, proud members of the East Tennessee community building together. It's Callum Johnson who stands over it. His 3rd season with the club since joining from Clemson. Comes in with in swing. It's not dealt with just yet. And Jai away. And Brown looking long. Dien giving chase, and Amal Knight is there to collect. Mike Jeffries is not someone who's shy about making changes. Amal Knight was the big one he made about a month and a half ago. In place of Matt Levy. Knoxville knows him all too well. Made a bevy of stops in the first half to keep them level the last time these two teams met. Rosamilia. This is Jaheim Brown. Who has a loose touch on the near side. When you look at how Charlotte is set up, it appears they are building out of a 3-back, and their wingbacks likely Clay Dimmick, as well as, well, excuse me, probably more Christopher Jaime and Anton Sorensen. It is a tactically flexible Charlotte side. Mike Jeffries says he's comfortable playing out of a 4 or 5-back system. the dynamic wing presences Knoxville has. It's no surprise they've set up with an added layer of wing defense. Here's Cheney. Jai wide for Sorensen. Former product of the Philadelphia Union organization. Jaime. This is Njai, who ventures into the area. Hunts options. It's not a bad cross. That's cleared as only as far as John Beccaro. Now he gets it back. Another curling ball. Nodded away by Skelton. He's the talisman in the heart of defense. And this is Tequila. Osamilia. Or 10 minutes gone here in Knoxville, and no score between top-seeded One Knox and Charlotte Independence. It is a first ever home playoff match for One Knox. Last season, reaching the postseason as the 5th seed, fell 2-1 at Greenville Triumph. This year they're the favorites though. This is threaded through to Zarkostas. Cuts it across before it's stabbed away by Adewole. Usmanu. Welcome return to the 11 for him. He and Javin Romero both suffered knocks the last time these two sides met in late September. That was a 1-0 victory for One Knox. Jaheim Brown scored a wonder goal around the 70-minute mark. That was the only difference maker in a nip and tuck affair. Sorensen's cross in. It's dealt with awkwardly. It just fizzes behind. I'll tell you what, on a different day, that turns out much worse for Jordan Skelton. Here's another look. You see Sorensen puts plenty of mustard on this, and it comes off his shin, which is definitely not what Skelton intended. Just behind for a corner, presented by Precision Concrete Solutions. John Beccaro tends to whip in a mean delivery from these scenarios. Taken within swing. Adewole at the back post, knocked in and off the bar. Christian Cheney narrowly missing. It's not the best of deliveries, but Adewole puts it right back into the quarter of uncertainty, and Cheney just kisses it off the right post. An early warning shot for One Knox at the back. Well, fans, keep watching all the exciting postseason action as the USL playoffs presented by Terminix continue throughout November. The top teams battle it out for the ultimate prize. Go to USLLeague1.com for all the latest playoff information. Should be an exciting month of November. Of course, last night in League One, the 2 seed. Chattanooga Red Wolves going down against Portland Hearts of Pine. Here's Jaime's cross. Only as far as Bashir and Jai. Spielman back in. Falls for Jaime. It is a rampaging start from the Jacks thus far. Jaime again. It's a menacing ball, and it's an excellent save from Lewis. Turns away Suebu Maru with expertise. Sean Lewis under fire more than he would have expected early on, but he's passed every test with flying colors. Suebu Maru at the back stick. Lewis was always there and equal to it, though. And it goes out for what appears to be just a goal kick for One Knox. You're beginning to see why Sean Lewis is such a valued member of this one Knoxville side. Ian Fuller himself saying that with the way Johan Garibay played in his absence, the pressure was on Sean to perform when he returned from that preseason injury. And perform he has, despite being what some would call the wrong side of 30. He has played like he's still in his mid-20s. Clean sheets in 3 of the last 6. Big part of why one Knoxville has built such an ironclad defense. Much like a pitcher in baseball has run support, he started to get goal support on the other end. It's a big part of the reason why one Knox has been one of the toughest sides to beat over the past 3-4 months. How about Ian Fuller's jacket? Decked out to the nines for this playoff fixture. I'm sure he was hoping it wouldn't rain. It makes life a little more difficult to build, but that is what the elements have thrust their way. Here's Zarkostas, who's inside Usmanu. Flashing it across. Loose for Tequila. And just misses wide. Knoxville's first major chance goes begging. It's a lightning quick break. Stavros Zarkostas on the wrong side of Pele Usmanu. It's a decent ball that falls so kindly for Kempis Tequila. It narrowly misses that far corner, aided by a deflection as well. It is another Precision Concrete Solutions corner kick, which Tequila will take. Within swing to the back post and headed in. Sievert Haugli provides liftoff for one Knox, and against the grain they lead. The Players' Shield winners are off to a flyer, and they lead inside 20 minutes, courtesy of Sievert Haugli. A perfectly executed corner kick. Taken within swing, Haugli a towering header, and no one there to stop it. Amal Knight can't get over in time, and as you roll that beautiful bean footage, you get a look at the goal in all its glory. Sievert Haugli, the 26-year-old Norwegian, in his second season with one Knox. That's his 3rd goal of the League One campaign. And despite being under pressure for the better part of the opening 15 and change, the Players' Shield winners lead. Haugli, someone who joined the club after spending time in Norwegian football, has bounced around positionally all year. Opened the season as more of a defensive midfielder, but after an injury to Danny Fernandez during the summer, Ian Fuller making the bold choice to move him back to his natural position at center back. And he says, he's so clean and versatile that I could pretty much play him anywhere, and I know he'll log a strong performance. And he has proven to be a perfect partner for Jordan Skelton at the back, adding some attacking punch the other direction as well. Charlotte, for all their early dominance, finds themselves having to chase this one. Well, for those just joining us, one Knoxville, the top seed in USL League One, taking the 1-0 lead moments ago, courtesy of Sievert Haugli's towering header at the back post. A well-placed corner kick routine. Tequila put it on a platter, and Haugli winning his one-on-one battle. And a Charlotte side that has battled so many defensive woes all year long, the 4th most goals conceded in the league with 50, and has been caught out yet again. go a long way to calming any nerves as well. Sometimes when you're the favorite, even on home soil, you can feel the pressure. And it looked like early on, maybe Charlotte would ask more questions than we originally expected. One Knox has taken that script and ripped it up. Knight in trouble here. He bypasses Babacar Dieng. Have to run after this as well. Charlotte's starting to struggle with the slippery nature of the pitch. Dimmick. Cheney. Clever touch from Maru. Baquero over the top towards Cheney. Goes down in the box. And our referee Atan Yaya waves away any penalty shouts. It is just a corner. See Baquero. Crafty first time ball. Cheney just runs into what appears to be Stuart Ritchie. Charlotte with their second corner of the match, presented by Precision Concrete Solutions. John Baquero, one of the top assist providers to take. An outswinger that is still loose, and an unbelievable save from Lewis, who once again turns away a lovely Charlotte effort. Another well-placed corner. Cheney first to it, and then Maru just lashes at it. Unfortunately for him, it is right at Sean Lewis, who didn't have much time to react. Well, midway through this first half, for those just joining us, we welcome you into Rocky Top at Covenant Health Park, the new and lovely home of One Knoxville SC, an area where they are unbeaten in 15 home matches this year. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action, and the Players' Shield winners off to a positive start. Siebert Haugley, a towering header at the back post in the 17th minute, making the difference. Despite One Knox arguably being on the back foot throughout the bulk of this. It's not to say they've been out of it, but Charlotte definitely creating the lion's share of the chances thus far. Here's Caputo. Haugley looking long for Babacar Dieng, top scorer with 10 goals in league play this year. Sent tumbling. The referee does blow the whistle. Swaybu Maru is penalized for that challenge. Well, you see here, Dieng trying to round the corner. It is certainly a foul for Maru, extending his arms in the process. Sets up Knoxville with another well-placed set piece. They, of course, one of the more dominant set piece squads in the league, especially with their size in the form of Skelton and Haugley at the back. Not to mention the towering figure of Babacar Dieng. Floated into the quarter of uncertainty, but too tight on Amel Knight. Of course, Amel Knight, best known for his time with Lexington SC, joining as a free agent over the summer and earning the starting role after Matt Levy was the mainstay between the sticks for the early portion of the year. This is one back upfield, and now Johnson. Played wide for Rosamilia. Ritchie's cross. And it's tapped out. For a goal kick, it arced out. Well, fans, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy to the big league, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Well, work to be done for Charlotte Independence if they hope to put a scare into One Knox away from home. Side that was unlocked 8 minutes ago by Sievert Haugley and has been playing catch-up ever since. That the lone difference-making moment with Christian Cheney, though, as well as Sway Boomeroo, denied from close range by Sean Lewis. He has been on his game early on. You're starting to see the hosts knock it about with a bit more confidence and swagger. Njai. Here is Tequila with plenty of room to roam. Threads it through for Zarakostas, who is hunting the run of DN. A much-needed intervention from Adewole. You already see the lethal pace and precision Stavros Zarakostas can provide, though. Team-high 6 assists in league play. Someone who is paced to burn on the right-hand side. He's one of the many returners from last season. 9 players who made double-digit starts a year ago are back. So a strong nucleus that Ian Fuller credits with helping him adapt to his new circumstances. Since then, he has built a model that has been sensational. There's a cross in. Lewis handles it awkwardly. And out for yet another corner for Charlotte. What's another Precision Concrete Solutions corner kick as we inch towards the half-hour mark here at Covenant Health Park. Charlotte racking up the set pieces, but they have yet to breach Sean Lewis's defenses. John Baquero getting more target practice from this flank, and instead taken short. Baquero arcing it back in, away from Skelton, only as far as Jaime. Uncomfortable for Lewis. Well, you hear the noise in the background. It is a rowdy atmosphere here in Knoxville. After Knoxville clinched the Players' Shield, they sold 4,000 tickets in the span of a week. That just speaks to the promising support base they are building here in Knoxville, and for all of the markets that are getting well-deserved credit for their turnout, be it Portland, be it AV Alta, be it other major teams throughout the division, One Knoxville is quietly building a very, very strong base of support here of their own. As this is not long for Zarakostas, who loses the foot race with a Mal Knight. He is penalized as that's knocked out of play, much to his chagrin at that. Well, it looked like Knight did win this foot race. In fact, it was pretty 50-50. And Knight is livid that that throw was not given against Knoxville. This is Clay Dimmick. Nearly 170 career appearances with Charlotte. Jaime Wide for Baquero. Looking for an angle to cross. Instead cuts it back to Jaime. And Skelton there to knock it out of play. Well, he is one of the best defenders in the division for a reason. Jordan Skelton once again cutting things out at the source. And another Precision Concrete Solutions corner kick for Charlotte. This time within swing. We'll run it right back from the opposite flank now. We see the fans in full force, despite the weather, undeterred. Full ponchos if necessary, as you see the rain starting to abate a touch. Temperatures today in the 50s, a brisk fall afternoon here in Knoxville, and another Precision Concrete Solutions corner kick for their visitors. Baquero again. Dien is first to it. Jaime trying from afar, didn't miss by much. There are still signs of life from Charlotte. Mike Jeffries mentioning that despite the fact that they've fallen in 8 of their final 10 league matches, there have been plenty of moments of promise, especially last week against Naples. Dominating the ball for large spells, having moments with half chances. The issue has been turning that into clinical finishing, or clear-cut chances really at that. Here today, clear-cut chances have materialized. They just haven't been able to take them. Zarakostas is in acres of space here. Brown. When you look at Charlotte's numbers going forward, a side that did rank 4th in the league in goals, and coupled with that, missing the joint second most big chances in the league with 44. So there have been plenty of moments where it's looked like they could knock on and win matches, and even today had chances to open the scoring. The issue has been when they lose it in possession, being countered on. Last week it was especially apparent in the way they conceded both of their goals in the final 30 minutes. That is what Mike Jeffries has worked on cleaning up with his side this week. Especially against a Knoxville side that knows how to lock up shot better than anyone else. Dien off his feet. Referee waves play on. Jaime. Skelton. Jaheim Brown. Tequila. Has Brown with him and now uses him. Caputo, former teammate of Amal Knights at Lexington. He does lose out here. Jaime off to the races the other direction. Has support with him. Knocks it across for Christopher Cheney. Christian Cheney inside, and the effort deflected out for a corner. Well, Christian Cheney bearing down on goal. And it was a sensational recovery which denied him. Lovely ball from Jaime, and Sievert Haugli initially turning him away and buys time for Johnson to recover. Christian Cheney once again denied a potential opening goal for Charlotte. Another Precision Concrete Solutions corner kick. John Vaquero is over it. They're starting to rack up the set piece count. Now just looking for that final bit of execution. Without swing, Lewis comes out. Falls rather nicely for Zarakostas, who turns on the afterburners. And now we'll await reinforcements. What a ball there from Dien. And Knight just narrowly wins that race. Tequila. Into the final 10 minutes of this first half. This is Zarakostas. And that ball well over the heads of everyone in the Knoxville purple. Well, fans, soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Business-ended proceedings in this first half. One Knoxville with the 1-0 advantage in this USL League One quarterfinal between the top-seeded One Knox and 8th-seeded Charlotte Independence. Sievert Haugley, the difference maker in the 17th minute. Christian Cheney moments ago saw his effort blocked behind. And Charlotte continues to ask questions the other direction. But since the goal, One Knox has looked much more confident in possession. Here's Jaheim Brown. Has been a wild, marauding end-to-end affair. Probably more than neutrals would have anticipated. Wole gets the final touch on that, and Knoxville has a corner. Kempis Tequila moments ago provided an assist on his last Precision Concrete Solutions corner kick. Stand over this one yet again. In-swinging ball. This one is a less menacing delivery. Maru looking to run it out of trouble. And the referee waves play back for an advantage. It has the feel of a match that could really open up, especially as tired legs set in the second half. Of course, One Knox is pretty lethal in their ability to counter, but they also do enjoy having the ball a bit more than last season, and Ian Fuller's made a habit of trying to possess the ball while staying in their shape. Just one of the many wrinkles he's added in gradually as the season has evolved. They have not lost that directness when required. Can play in so many different ways, despite averaging north of 50% possession. Can win games while playing on the back foot as well. We've seen a little bit of everything on display through this first half. Tactical versatility. Caputo. Skelton comes off the head of Dien. No one there to greet it, though. This is Jaime, one of the brighter bulbs in the first half for Charlotte. Jaime again. Darting inside. Njai looking for Christian Cheney. Back for Jaime. who curled it, but well within the reach of Lewis. Third save already for Sean Lewis. Not the easiest of the lot, though. Ritchie. Brown. Zarkostis with some room to maneuver. Instead looks for Brown on the underlap, who flashes it across. Right into the path of Toby Adewole, though. Sorensen upended there by Zarkostis. An interesting career path for Stavros Zarkostis, a former third-round pick in the 2020 MLS Super Draft before playing a few years abroad in the Greek second tier. Of course, his native country of Greece, but made the move back to the States in July of last year to join One Knox and proved to be one of the more exciting additions they made, with that bit of flair and dynamism that they maybe were lacking for spells last season. And this year, Ian Fuller has just found a way to unlock his production. Talking to him earlier in the year, there was a heavy emphasis on telling his wingers especially to play with more directness and emphasize final product and output. And Stavros Zarkostis, the biggest beneficiary of that. Johnson. Throw taken quickly. Babacar Dieng runs it down. Still have yet to see him make an impact. Switches the play wonderfully for Brown. He hits it on a second touch and well beyond the reach of the goal mouth. Well, he's not shy about uncorking. You see the wry smile on his face moments ago because he scored from that exact distance the last time these two sides met in a similar setup. Joining from Waterhouse in the Jamaican Premier League in February and has been a mainstay in defense ever since. Rosamilia. One Knoxville starting to control tempo here. Adewole with a clever step though. Johnson. Looking through for Zarkostis, who does get on the end of this. It's Stavros Zarkostis! Slight touch from Knight, takes it wide. That was the chance to make it two. Well, Zarkostis is a dynamo, playing on the back shoulder of the last defender. Muscles Sorensen off it. And then just before Adewole comes, he has to get his foot around it. Narrowly missing the target. And it sets up Kempis Tequila for another Precision Concrete Solutions corner kick. In the dying embers of this first half. Another in-swinging ball. This one doesn't clear the first line of defense. And Jaime knocks it wide, but Caro on his horse. Njai. Dimmick. Can Charlotte steal an equalizer before the break? Bashir Njai. This time muscled off it. Johnson playing it through to Babacar Dieng, who's looking to round him out night and was offside anyways. Every time Knoxville wins it back, Charlotte's defense looks so vulnerable to a counterattack. Familiar woes rearing their ugly heads as we inch closer and closer to intermission. Final minute of the initial 45. All eyes on the fourth official in a matter of seconds now. Caputo. And well, there is the halftime whistle. So no stoppage time added on. After an end-to-end first half, the Players' Shield winners hold a narrow 1-0 advantage. But don't let the scoreline fool you. This has been a track meet. The lone goal scored by Sievert Haugley, but many chances both directions. Christian Cheney denied on a couple of occasions, and then at the tail end of the first half, Stavros Zarakostis also saw his moment fade into the abyss. At halftime, our scoreline reads 1-0, but plenty to talk about at intermission. One Knoxville with the narrow advantage at the break, but a fun one brewing with 45 more minutes of action beckoning. At halftime, presented by Realty Executives, it is 1-0 to 1 Knox. We'll step aside when we return a look around USL League One.
Gig speed internet from the big guys, gig speed internet from KUB Fiber. What's the difference? Ours is truly gig speed. Do a speed check and see if you're getting what you pay for. Then make the switch to KUB Fiber.
We welcome you back to Knoxville, Tennessee, where at halftime, brought to you by Realty Executives, our scoreline reads 1 Knoxville 1, Charlotte Independence 0. Well, it has been an eventful quarterfinal round in the USL League One playoffs already. Let's take a look at the two-pack of matches last night, and both were very eventful. Starting with our first fixture, second-seeded Chattanooga Red Wolves against Portland Hearts of Pine. One goal made the difference. Ollie Wright, the centerpiece of Portland all season long, the 1-2, and then finishing first time into the bottom right corner to topple Chattanooga, a side that was in the Players' Shield race until the final day. That the upset of the competition thus far, as the traveling Portland support loved that. And then in the nightcap, FC Naples prevailing in an absolute thriller. A 0-0 scoreline heading into penalties, and then in the shootout, Ian Garrett converting, and then the final kick, Joel Serrano, the hero, turning away an effort and serving as the banner piece for Naples' first playoff victory. The winner of this one will get Naples in the semifinals. Well, that is where things stand in the USL League One playoffs. Where things stand here in the quarterfinals is a 1-0 scoreline in favor of the Players' Shield winners, but plenty to play for on the other side of halftime. Stick with us when we return. A look around USL League One and an in-depth look at some of our postseason award winners. Stick with us.
Whoa, termites can eat a pound of wood a day. 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 What's wrong, Daddy? Daddy? You okay?
Keep termites out of your home and your head with our premium guarantee that covers up to $250,000 in new termite damage. Before panic shows up, Terminix it.
Prinks tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks tires will be there for the long haul.
To put Portland into the postseason. Reaches to the whistle. It ends.
Blew my mind away.
It's not just a nationwide company that's trying to get your money and then jacking up your prices every other month.
$65 a month, every month, no questions asked.
It's so fast.
So my speeds have quadrupled, actually.
Believe me, you will see the difference.
If you can get KUB fiber in your neighborhood, get it.
10 out of 10, I would recommend it.
Welcome back to the Scruffy City. We're at halftime, brought to you by Realty Executives. One Knoxville holds the narrow advantage over 8-seeded Charlotte Independence in the third of 4 USL League One quarterfinals. Well, we continue our look around USL League One with some standout headlines from the competition this past week. The Golden Award winners, JC Obregon claiming the Golden Boot for Westchester after scoring 17 goals. Meanwhile, Jason Smith and Charlie Ostrom, Golden Glove and Golden Playmaker winners, respectively. Meanwhile, Lalo Blancas, 2 direct free kicks last week against Portland Hearts of Pine to extend his league record. And finally, Simon Fitch, the Player of the Week after a 3-assist performance in the Henny Derby last week. In terms of our Team of the Week, unsurprisingly, Simon Fitch is the standout for Richmond Kickers, who have 4 players and Darren Sawatsky selected. In addition to that, Carson Henderlong and Mark Torres included for Naples after Henderlong's brace against Charlotte. Nobody from either of these two sides included, despite Knoxville's 1-0 victory to clinch the Players' Shield against Greenville Triumph. But those are your key performers here for the final week of the regular season. Well, it's now time to continue our look around the division with our look at the Goal of the Week, the Save of the Week, some Player of the Month nominees, and an inside look at our Golden Boot winner. Stick with us here.
Sneaking in on the left foot now, dicing out to the right. He cuts it back. Shot coming, bar down, brilliant! Natty James nails it in bullseye. wouldn't mind a goal. That one stopped by Garcia.
Think about that to the end of the season. Until then, it's doing our job week in, week out. Babacar Diaz unmarked and fires home for a third.
Up ahead, Bazzini. The flag down momentarily. Yaniv Bazzini. Crafty!
Back up top, Espinal sends it. Bill Hart, he waits, he takes, he scores!
Obregon on the free kick. Obregon, oh my goodness! Number 17 on the season is a stunner!
On opening day of the 2025 season, Juan Carlos Obregon converted a penalty kick to help preserve a 1-1 draw for Westchester SC. That goal kicked off a 17-goal Golden Boot campaign. JC, as his teammates and friends call him, never went longer than 2 games without scoring a goal, and scored 3 times in 2 games to finish the season. That provided the necessary cushion to lead all of League One. It was a steady run all season long. You never really went into a slump. So kind of describe your season as a whole, and you wound up with the most in League One.
So this season, to sum it up individually, I think it was spectacular. Just like you said, I was consistent all year, scoring the goals. My goal was to win the Golden Boot. Put in the work every day, and I was able to achieve it.
2023-24, last season, you endured some challenges. Coming into this season, how comforting was it to land on this team and realize I'm going to have an entire season here and really get to show what I can do? All the other stuff is aside.
Yeah, 2023 was tough because I started the year at Motagua in Honduras in the first division over there. And then halfway through the year, I joined Pittsburgh. So it was a lot of moving around, you know. I wasn't able to really stable myself, and reach my best potential. Last year, I thought I had a great individual season. I was, runner-up for the Golden Boot. I did join the team late, so I had less games under my belt. It was definitely on my mind this year to go for it and make sure it happened. And, I'm just thankful to God that I was able to do that.
Obregon had a big lead entering the regular season finale when Carson Henderlong of FC Naples scored a pair of goals. That was good enough for second most goals in League One, 3 behind Obregon. Niall Reed-Stephen of South Georgia Tormenta finishes the season with 13 goals, followed by Christian Cheney of Charlotte Independent with 12.
Fiber internet from the big guys, fiber internet from KUB. What's the difference? No fine print. Get true gig speed internet for just $65 a month. No contracts, no slowdowns, no disclaimers. KUB Fiber.
We welcome you back to Knoxville, where it's time to get a look at our standout moments from what was an incredibly eventful first half. It was a fast start for Charlotte as you get a look at the halftime highlights presented by Realty Executives. A number of chances for Christian Cheney and company. This the best of them, knocking it right off of the right post, and then a minute later, Charlotte continuing to create. Swabu Maru, a free header that is right at Sean Lewis to keep Knoxville level at the time. And you'd wondered maybe the upset was brewing, but 3 minutes later, Knoxville with other ideas. They win a corner after Kempis Tequila's effort was just deflected wide. And then after that, from the ensuing set piece, as you get another look at this strong chance that produced the corner kick, this nice deflection from Toby Adewole. Knoxville would open the scoring. An arcing cross, and Sievert Hauglie there to greet it. Nick Spielman doesn't jump and pays the price as Hauglie bags his third goal of the league season to get Knoxville off and running. 4 minutes later, chances the other direction once again. Christian Cheney in the mix of things. Once again, Swabu Maru having a pop on the second ball. Charlotte's won a lot of these in the final third, but Sean Lewis there to cover it up. You get your look at the halftime stats, also presented by Realty Executives. Yes, Knoxville has the possession edge, but how about this? Charlotte Independence, more than doubling them up in terms of shots, and one more shot on frame. The difference of this game, besides Sievert Hauglie, has been Sean Lewis, who has made 3 big stops to keep Knoxville in front, despite the XG surging strongly in Charlotte's favor. We are just about set to get things back underway for the second half of play here in Knoxville. It is now Charlotte in the gold, going from left to right on your screen. Knoxville from right to left. Can the Jacks make up ground, or will it be the Players' Shield winners hosting Naples here next week? Find out in a matter of 45 minutes, or potentially longer. Back underway here from Covenant Health Park. Sam Goldfarb taking you from now until the finish line, whenever and wherever that is. Was a fast start to the first half, as we showed you on those halftime highlights from Charlotte Independence, creating a myriad of chances. Christian Cheney with 2 standout moments, and then 2 more for Swabu Maru, who has a knack for a big goal. You figure if those 2 get that caliber of service in the second half, Charlotte won't come up empty-handed in terms of goals here. Has been a daring approach from Charlotte, deploying a 3-back system, pushing their wing-backs aggressively high as well. Has left them vulnerable when they lose it, especially in midfield, but also has allowed them to stretch Knoxville's back 4 and at least test Sean Lewis with enough frequency to cause concern. I wonder if you're Ian Fuller, what the talking points were at intermission. Obviously, trying to take the sting out of things would be preferred. It is one Knoxville side that has kept 8 clean sheets in the last 10 home league matches. When you factor in the way they closed the year with 6 wins from their final 8, a number of those victories were clean sheets as well. It is the best defense in the league for a reason. We'll have to lean on that now if they don't try and kill it off in the early stages of this second half. Here's Jaime. Touches it wide for Dimmick. Now Maru. It's a rare start for him. Mike Jeffries mentioning that he feels he's a little more effective coming off the bench at times, but Charlotte in need of some firepower. He's inserted into the 11 and has made an impact. Of course, he's best known for his hat trick as a halftime substitute against Westchester in early May. He was the first player in League One history to score a hat trick as a substitute. Here's Dimmick. Floats it in. Skelton towers and heads it away. Well, that the only difference-making moment on your screen. Sievert Hauglie in the 17th. A perfectly timed header after a sensational corner kick delivery. But now maybe the table is set for a long throw here for Charlotte. They do look long. Carroll flicks along. Cheney can't carve out the room to shoot. It's out only as far as Jaime. Baquero runs through to Dimmick, who cuts it across to Cheney. Spielman now. Dimmick back in, falls to the edge of the area, and another quality stop, that time from Lewis. He turns away Baquero at the near post. Well, it was an onslaught of set pieces for Charlotte in the first half, and that doesn't change here to begin the second. It is the 5th corner kick of the day for Charlotte Independence, presented by Precision Concrete Solutions. Baquero within swing. Maru is first to it. Falls to the edge of the area. Jaime's effort deflected. Back for Baquero again. Sorensen. Lewis punches, falls for Njai. Wins another set piece for Charlotte. The Jacks continue to throw Knoxville into a state of havoc defensively. Make it corner number 6, presented by Precision Concrete Solutions, proud members of the East Tennessee community, building together. Baquero has plenty of experience now. Outswinging ball. Tried for the near post again. Sorensen loses out. Zarakostis with space to break. And he's upended by Anton Sorensen. The referee waves away any appeals for a foul. And the near 6,000 strong in Knoxville are clearly a bit disappointed in that decision. Moreau running it down for Charlotte. Dimmick hooking it in towards Cheney. Headed away by Johnson. Baquero. And that is far too tight on Lewis. It is a Knoxville side that, as we showed you off the top during the regular season, 7 goals allowed on its home patch in 15 league games. Of course, we've already said unbeaten at home. That's been the storyline all year long. First team in a non-COVID affected season to do that. And then when you factor in as well, beyond that, 21 unbeaten at home dating back to mid-June of last year. Their last defeat coming against Greenville Triumph, that at Regal Soccer Stadium on the campus of the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. So, has been over a year and a half since Knoxville has tasted defeat in their home city. And in a year where they did not play their first home match until early May. It's been rather remarkable what they've been able to conjure. Sorensen loses his footing, and Zarakostis is penalized. Maru overzealous in his attempts to win it. Keep your eye on that strike partnership. Cheney and Maru have already made menaces of themselves. Cheney's pedigree speaks for itself. 4 consecutive seasons with double-digit goals, be it his last 2 years in Madison or this one in Charlotte. It's been a rapid rise for him from the NISA ranks to one of the best forwards in USL League One history. His counterpart, Suebu Maru, as we've already discussed, is more of a super sub historically, but 9 goals to his name in league play as well, and carries tremendous pedigree. Played in the Cameroonian national team ranks and was called up to that 2022 World Cup squad. So he's no slouch either. This is Jaime racing forward. Darts to the byline. Cross is deflected out of play, and yet another set piece for Charlotte. We're now on corner 7 of the match. And if you give John Baquero this many chances to play a teasing ball, the league's second highest assister will likely create. Another in-swinger. It's an inviting ball. Cheney just heads over. Somehow unable to pull the Jacks level. You would put your money on Christian Cheney being able to finish this. Free header, goes into the dirt, and just takes enough of a hop over the bar. And maybe put too much force behind it into the turf, and that's why it sailed over in the end. Well, fans can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus hear live matches from the USL MLS Premier League and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Player down for one Knox. Appears to be Jaheim Brown. He's just a bit ginger on his return to his feet. Richie. There's the goal scorer, Haugley, product of Virginia Tech. I've already spoken about the versatility, how clean he is on the ball. Back in his normal center back role and excelling there. Played through to Dien, slightly overcooked. When you look at the season series, Charlotte did claim a win over Knoxville in mid-May. That came at the Sportsplex at Matthews in 3-1 fashion. It's the third meeting here on this ground. A 2-2 draw in late July, and then the aforementioned 1-0 victory in late September in the last meeting for one Knox. But despite all of Charlotte's struggles against postseason competition, which we showed you off the top, they have claimed 4 points from 3 matches previously against Knoxville, and you're seeing why they can play them so tight. Mike Jeffrey saying, we're at our best when we can counter. One Knoxville is a side that's not shy about possessing it this year. Much to the contrary of their approach last season. It does leave some openings for the end-to-end football that Charlotte prefers. Skelton surging ahead. Former Defender of the Year in USL League One. Would likely be in contention for that award again this season. Caputo. Now wide to Brown, who's been an involved presence in the build. Picks out Zarakostis, who's muscled away by Sorensen. Well, you figure he'll be largely pleased with what he saw in the first half. I think there will be moments where he feels they could clean things up. Ian Fuller, of course, his first year as a head coach, probably the front runner for USL League One Coach of the Year at this rate, given what he was able to do with this one Knoxville side. Took a squad that finished 5th and struggled to score a year ago into the potential playoff favorite as the Players' Shield winners. Club record 43 goals is nothing to scoff at either. That was good enough for joint 5th most in the division while maintaining all of that defensive solidity. Said that early on in the season, he was a bit rigid with his players, saying, look, trust my vision and it will work. But as the year wore on, became a little more malleable and started to take into account the input of his leaders and adjusted his approach that way. And the results have followed. You look at their final 20 League One matches, just 3 defeats and 41 points in that span. It's a side that always ranked above the playoff line, but took another leap in the late summer and fall months. Here's Jaime in some space. Dispossessed by Caputo. Cheney able to win it back though. Baquero. Hunting the run of Maru. Rosamilia, the rookie who has lit up the scene this season with 1 knocks. Brown. Tequila. A few touches of it, but his touches have been the difference makers. Provided the spectacular corner kick that led to Sievert Haugly's early first half opener. That is the only moment of difference thus far, despite so many chances that have followed for Charlotte and a few that have also ensued for Knoxville. Rosamilia over the top, and it's a heavy touch from Richie. When you think about 1 seeds in the USL League One playoffs, has been a mixed bag. Mike Jeffries hoping to make that record a bit more blemished, so to speak. Already mentioned his history of success in the playoffs. Spoke to him this week about that 2023 run, and he said we can take a lot from it because we do bring back a trio of players that experience that run and understand what it takes to make that next step in the postseason. That advice now doesn't just come from the coaching staff. It also comes from well-respected voices in the dressing room. To flash some resilience here though. Brown, Dien into the path of Tequila, and the offside flag is up. Slick interplay that is neutralized by our linesman. Well, fans, enter the Prinks Tires Family Game Day Kit sweepstakes for a chance to win a prize pack worth up to $4,000. Scan the QR code on screen to enter today. We have hit the hour mark here on Rocky Top. Top-seeded 1 Knox still holds a narrow advantage over a game Charlotte Independent side. The goal scored by Sievert Haugly in the 17th minute, a towering header from a corner kick, making all of the difference thus far. Sam Goldfarb taking you every step of the way through this. It has been a fun one. The first half more end-to-end than many neutrals would have expected. Charlotte with a bevy of chances to take an early lead, and even since falling behind, has made life difficult for Sean Lewis and company. So this is far from wrapped up. It will take significant work for either side to see this out. Another set piece here for the Jags. Baquero bends it goalward. It's a good ball. It's loose for a moment. Usmanu unable to wrap his boot around it. That, another half chance that goes begging for the visitors. Tequila has Zarakostas in space and takes a well-timed touch. Zarakostas is in, and Zarakostas finishes. Direct and dynamic, Knoxville doubles the lead. It was coming. It was always coming from Stavros Zarakostas. Missing a chance just like this in the first half. He won't make the same mistake twice. Dispatches with aplomb, and Knoxville leads 2-0. Just turns on the afterburners beyond Pele Usmanu, who's a couple steps late, and One Knox unlocking Charlotte with a 5-star counter. Stavros Zarakostas, a 27-year-old, more known for the assists he's provided this year, bags a 3rd league goal of the campaign, and it may be one that seals a spot in the semifinals for the hosts. Burst onto the scene last year after joining in late July from the Greek 2nd tier. And this season, after emphasis from Ian Fuller on final third production, he has delivered a 5th goal in all comps, a 3rd in league play. Coupled with the 6 league assists he's added, he's proven to be one of the breakout stars of this One Knoxville squad this year. Zarakostas was playing on the back shoulder of Pele Usmanu all afternoon. In the late stages of the first half, had a chance virtually identical to that he was unable to finish. A deflection aided Charlotte's efforts there. This time around, gets a bit more of a step, and it's all he needs to finish things off. And now Knoxville hunting more carnage. This is Richie. The flag stays down, clips a cross in. One back by Johnson. A 3rd would all but seal it now. Zarakostas darting to the byline, and a corner on the way for One Knox. He is the man of the hour. Has sent nearly 6,000 strong into a frenzy in the scruffy city. When you think about men of the match, he would be the primary contender. What a performance. And there's still 24 minutes left for him to make his mark further. Well, Tequila is up and shows no signs of long-term harm. Another corner presented by Precision Concrete Solutions, proud members of the East Tennessee community, building together a 2-0 cushion for One Knoxville. Goals on either end of halftime by Siebert Haugley and Stavros Zarakostas. See the top-seeded side with a commanding advantage as we head towards the final 20. And Tequila once again threatening from a set piece. Another in-swinging ball. Cheney away this time. Only as far as Richie, though. And is comfortable for Knight. Hearing word that Knoxville is readying at least one change. Angelo Kelly is set to replace Callum Johnson, which would signify a slightly more defensive-minded shift. Angelo Kelly more known for his holding capabilities. Callum Johnson a bit more of an 8. Dimmick surging ahead. And a corner on the way for Charlotte. They could add a plot twist to the tale with a goal around this juncture of the fixture. John Baccaro, yet another opportunity to make the difference. Another Precision Concrete Solutions corner kick. Toward the back post, Cheney with a head and right at Lewis. And you wonder now what the mindset is, not just of Mike Jeffries, but his players. A performance that probably merits better than what they've produced on the score sheet, but they still find themselves down in the dumps. Both times they've showed promise going forward, unlocked the other way. DN across to Tequila, deflected behind. They are really threatening now, and this is terrific work from Babacar Dieng. Just outwits Pele Ousmane, plays a well-timed ball into the path of Tequila, and if not for that intervention from Adewole, it may be 3. A double change now. It is Gio Calixtro replacing Nico Rosamilia in a like-for-like swap on the left flank. And as we mentioned already, Angelo Kelly replacing Callum Johnson. A double swap from Ian Fuller as his side looks to lock up shop. Gio Calixtro, one of the youngest goal scorers in USL Championship history during his time with Portland Timbers 2. Angelo Kelly has flashed success in the final third as an attacking player, but has always been known for his defensive prowess. A veteran who has played years in the USL Championship before making the move to Knoxville 2 years ago. Another Precision's Concrete Solutions corner kick. It is Abel Caputo who stands over it this time. We are inside the final 20. Back post ball, and headed just wide by Skelton. Could have had both center backs on the score sheet. Well, you think about the recent history of One Knox. It is a side that began in USL League Two in the 2022 season with the eventual goal of reaching USL League One. And what a rapid rise it was, because they breached the professional ranks just a year later, hung around the playoff line, but narrowly missed it 2 years ago before cracking the playoffs for the first time in 2024. A year that did feature a bit of tumult, just given the in-season coaching turnover. Ilya Ilic, who's now an assistant on Ian Fuller's staff, took over for the final 2 months and guided One Knox into the playoffs. But it was never a consistent year. This has been far different under Ian Fuller, who has built a juggernaut that may just be hosting a semifinal match. Three changes are now being readied for Charlotte as Mike Jeffries throws the kitchen sink at One Knoxville. Javin Romero, who injured his MCL the last time he played on this pitch in late September, will replace Swebu Maru. Meanwhile, Tumi Moshibani replacing John Baccaro as well. In addition, the third change, Juan David Moreno is in. So Ousmane, Baccaro, and Maru all exit. Moreno, Moshibani, and Romero in. Well, if you're just joining us, these are the two moments that have Knoxville in front. Sievert Haugley in the 17th, and then on a counterattack in the 64th, Stavros Zarakostis, who's been threatening all evening, finally breaking through. And the league leaders with a commanding advantage as of now. Here's Moshibani, the former San Diego Loyal man who made so much havoc in the final third during his time in the championship. Moreno. This is Dimmick now. First time cross in, And Cheney skies it. It's been a rough night for Christian Cheney. He has been able to do everything but hit the target, as a yellow card was just brandished moments ago. Angelo Kelly in the book. He substitutes first involvement. For Charlotte, if they were to fall here, it would continue a frustrating run of form away from home in the League One playoffs. They've never won a match inside 120 minutes in the League One playoffs. 0-2-2. Of course, they did win on penalties to upset Union Omaha, the then Players' Shield winners in 2023, before falling on penalties in the final. But last season, suffered a 2-0 defeat at Madison, and they're on the verge of suffering a loss by an identical scoreline here. Caputo. Tequila, looking for the return ball from Dien. It's cleared only as far as Caputo. Inching towards the final 15 minutes. And barring a collapse by one of the best defensive units in the league, One Knoxville is on its way to hosting FC Naples next week in the semifinals. This lofted long towards Zarakostas. Well-timed intervention from Sorensen. Direct to Cheney, who was offside. Well, fans, eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Knoxville 15 minutes away from a first playoff victory in its professional history. And they are making a statement as they look to take one step closer to their ultimate goal of doing the regular season and playoff double. Few teams have done that. Union Omaha did last year. In addition to that Greenville triumph, was able to secure a league title. Union Omaha's done it twice, both in 2021 and 2024. Not the only time we've had a regular season and playoff champion. Changes being readied on either side. We are hearing word Omar Sis is set to replace Bashir and Jai. Those two usually play together. But today, they will not share a football pitch. Meanwhile, Mikel Goling is in for Kempis Tequila. A strong display from Knoxville's creative talisman, who assisted both goals here tonight. He's replaced by Goling, who's played big minutes as an attack-minded center mid this year, but has fallen into a reserve role the last couple months. So Sis for Njai, Goling for Tequila. In a like-for-like change both ways. Omar Sis is one of the veterans who was a part of that Charlotte run to the 2023 USL League One final. He's moved into more of a proper holding midfield role the last 2 years. Like Jeffrey's mentioning, that injuries have forced him into a more defensive-minded posture. This cross is deflected, and Goling's first touch is a good one. Dien giving chase. It's read well by Javin Romero. Important to note, too, that One Knoxville still is without Mark Doyle. As here's Moshe Bani, cuts it inside for Cheney, and there is a lifeline for Charlotte. Well, in a blink, the Jacks right back in it, and it's their top scorer on the score sheet in the postseason. Christian Cheney, a well-timed run, beats Haugley to it, and tucks it into the bottom right. The second all-time leading goal scorer on the score sheet, and maybe, just maybe, there's an avenue back for the 8th seed. On 78 minutes, Christian Cheney providing hope for the visitors. And with the sheer amount of chances they've created, you would not put it past them to snag an equalizer. Cheney at 3 stops during his time in League One has been a proven scorer at all locations. 2 years with Madison, in which he was one of the top strikers in the division. And then this season, finishing with 12 in league play, 16 in all comps. He adds a 17th and makes things a bit more nervy for the Players' Shield winners. That potential date with Naples may have to wait. We inch towards the final 10 minutes, and for those joining us, do not change the channel, do not leave your seat, because it is a Charlotte side that is actually outperforming one Knoxville on expected goals, 163 to 0.9. Knoxville's taken its chances with aplomb, but Charlotte has created a critical mass of them, and moments ago finally breaking through, courtesy of a longtime veteran of the league in Christian Cheney, who at 31 years of age has not lost a step in the final third. Dian, there's still work to be done for one Knox. Keep in mind, recently substituting Kempis Tequila off the pitch. He is the direct architect of both goals. Haugley. Crafty touch, but heavy from Kelly in the end. And now loose for Calixtro. Ritchie. Looking for the return ball. Calixtro taps it across. It falls kindly for Zarakostis and takes a touch behind for a corner. Well, another Precision Concrete Solutions corner kick for one Knoxville. They grab their opener from a set piece. We'll see if they can seal it from a set piece in the final 10. There's an atmosphere that was filled with celebration that all of a sudden has turned slightly sour. Out-swinging ball from Zarakostis. Only got his head to it. Away from Adewole. Now, for all the talk about Tequila being subbed off, John Baccaro was also removed by Mike Jeffries. So a lot of the creative onus now on Tumi Moshabani, who is a player that Mike Jeffries says he's challenged to produce more in the final third. This is the goal-scoring summary. 2 goals for one Knox to seemingly put them on their way to a semifinal date with Naples. Christian Cheney playing spoiler, though, and at least making this nervous late. Spielman. Now Kelly. Hunting Zarakostis. Sorensen will be first to it. Well, remember, if Charlotte can battle back, the playoff rules are traditional FIFA rules, so that would be 30 minutes of extra time and then penalties. Of course, we're a long way from that. Knoxville could just as easily seal it. But that is what's on the line, as Babacar Died has just found himself in a bit of a scuffle. Stern talking to from Atan Yaya. Mike Jeffries is readying another attack-minded change. Haregi is set to replace Adewole in a matter of moments. Jaheim Brown tracks this down for one Knox. Goling playing out of pressure and now getting on the end of the return ball from Dien. Has Calixtro in support. Spielman first to it though. Cuts out the counter at the source. Well, buckle up. This could be a swashbuckling finish. Calixtro tries it himself, and he does win a corner. And now hearing word they're changing the substitute for Charlotte. Haregi will now replace Christopher Jaime instead of Toby Adewole. So not full caution to the wind just yet, albeit it is an attack-minded change as we have a Precision Concrete Solutions corner kick. That change still being held for the time being. Zarakostis took it too quickly for the referee's liking. And Skelton also was knocked over just outside the area. Well, both coaches know these fixtures between the two sides tend to be physical. Jordan Skelton upended just on the fringes of the penalty box. Not a ton in it. Comes off worse for wear, and that's what holds up the corner. Some center back on center back physicality. Take two from Zarakostis. It's actually Caputo who will take it. Out swinging ball. Goling gets his head to it. Comfortably into the palms of Knight. He's looking to engineer a counter. Is there a dramatic equalizing moment late on the cards? Or will one Knoxville surge into the semis? Jaime, he's set to be replaced shortly. It's still Jaime, cross deflected, and Lewis spills it late. And the whistle sounds against Mo Shabani for clattering into the goalkeeper. Pressure alleviated for now. One more change for Charlotte. It is Rafael Haregi, the 20-year-old who joined from Sacramento Republic in February, replacing Toby Adewole. So they do go back to the initial change, and that signifies a clear attack-minded swap, an attacking midfielder for a center back. And understandably so, given the predicament Mike Jeffries' squad finds themselves in. Charlotte side that has played through a tale of two halves of the season. Won 7 of the first 11. Won 3 of the remaining 19. Cross from Zarakostis, nodded out for a corner. Another Precision Concrete Solutions corner kick. And Knoxville could all but wrap it up with a third at this stage. Final 2 minutes of the initial 90. Out swinging ball. It's inviting. Cleared only as far as Richie. Caputo. Out for a Knoxville throw. Goaling. Zarakostis doesn't quite keep it in play. And now the gamesmanship kicks in for 1 Knox. Every second so valuable for the visitors at this stage. Charlotte side that has reached the semifinal stage of League One just once. Was part of a run to the final. Last season falling short of it. This season on the verge of doing so yet again. Cheney, clever touch. Haregi, back for Christian Cheney, who knocks it for Moshabani. No one there to find the return ball. Final minute of the 90. Moreno. Haregi. Moshabani looking for Sis. Out only as far as Diane. All eyes on the 4th official in a matter of seconds. In hearing word, it is a hefty amount of added time. So more time to bite the nails for both fan bases. 6 minutes. Kitchen sink time if you're Charlotte. For 1 Knox, every second you can burn is a positive. Naples sits waiting with a keen eye. Cheney. Moshabani goes down in the area. There's nothing in that, and our referee agrees. Jaime. Cheney is looking for Moshabani. A heavy touch back to Lewis. If Knoxville can see this out, they will host FC Naples next weekend in the semifinals. And the playoffs will continue to run through Knoxville. If Charlotte can grab a dramatic equalizer, that first playoff win may have to wait until at least another 30 minutes pass. Goaling. Destination corner flag now for 1 Knox, and they do win a corner, which is greeted by a loud applause from the Knoxville contingent behind the goal. Another Precision Concrete Solutions corner kick, but you get the sense this won't be taken direct. This will just be a simple back and forth around the corner flag. And that it is. Caputo came off Charlotte last, and more time ticks off the clock. They are halfway through the added 6 minutes. Goaling. Calixtro shoved down on the edge of the corner flag, and he does win a free kick. And again, more time to be wasted. Finally, a throw for Charlotte. That makes life a bit more troublesome now for One Knox. Just 2 minutes remain of the added 6. Spielman knocks it upfield towards Christian Cheney. And he commits the transgression in the process. You wonder if that may have been Charlotte's last gasp. Still 90 seconds remain, but One Knox has drained the clock so effectively. Masterfully done by a side that is used to grinding out results. They are about a minute away from a first playoff victory in club history. Final minute of the added 6. Cheney flicks along. Haregi just loses out. Skelton there to clean up the mess. And a goal kick ensues. Knoxville on the precipice of club history. Cheney looking for Moshabani, clattered away. Zarakostis chasing after it, and instead lets it run out of play. Beyond the added 6 minutes now. The whistle could go at any moment. Is there time for one final sojourn forward for Charlotte? Lofted into the Knoxville night. There is the full-time whistle. For the first time in club history, One Knoxville has won a USL League One playoff match, and they will host Naples in the semifinals next week. Ian Fuller's men jumping 2 in front. There was a late scare, but they get the job done. The Players' Shield winners continue to fight on as the historic season in Knoxville continues. It finishes Knoxville 2, Charlotte 1. It is time to spotlight our man of the match, who is Stavros Zarakostis, presented by Peaceful Side Breweries Club Light, brewed in the peaceful side of the Smoky Mountains. What a performance from Zarakostis, creating a number of chances on the break, including the eventual winner in the 64th minute, which powered Knoxville 2 in front and eventually wound up serving as the decisive goal. The key moment in what propels Knoxville to a first postseason victory in USL League One. It was a game effort from Charlotte. Christian Cheney got on the score sheet to make things interesting, but in the end, top-seeded One Knoxville prevails to advance to the League One semifinals. We'll step aside briefly, hear from Covenant Health Park. When we return, a look back at the eventful 90 minutes that just transpired. Stick with us from Rocky Top.
The change in speed was amazing.
$65 a month, every month.
It's so fast. Believe me, you will see the difference.
I've told them when it comes, you better get it quick.
We welcome you back to Knoxville, where the dream season runs on in Rocky Top. Ian Fuller's men secure a 2-1 victory over 8th-seeded Charlotte Independence to power into the League One semifinals, where they will host FC Naples next weekend. Well, what an eventful 90 minutes it was for One Knox in their first ever home playoff match, and they get the job done in fantastic fashion in front of their home fans. It's now time for our full-time highlights, and what a matter of chances there were in the early stages, especially for Charlotte. Christopher Jaime playing this in. Sway Boomeroo denied from point-blank range by Sean Lewis. There was a number of chances and half chances for the Jacks to open the scoring, but just couldn't get on the score sheet. And then on the other end, One Knoxville creating. Stavros Zarkostis, who was a menace the entire game, picking out Tequila here, who wins a corner. And on the ensuing corner, they would find the opener. Kempis Tequila, one of the standout performers in the match, sees that deflected off the post, but undeterred because this cross is pinpoint towards Sievert Haukley, who heads it into the bottom left to power One Knox in front on 17 minutes. It was a flying start for One Knox, and despite that start, though, there were more opportunities for the Jacks. This time, Christian Cheney and Sway Boomeroo combining. Maru again denied by Sean Lewis. That was the story of his first half, just could not find his way through Sean Lewis. And then in the second half, our play of the match, presented by Bush's Beans from Knoxville, supporting Knoxville, transpired. Stavros Zarkostis shrugging off Pele Usmanu and finishing with considerable aplomb, lashing it into the bottom right to power Knoxville 2 in front. And it looked like maybe he had sealed things, though there was late drama. Christian Cheney, after this lovely ball from the edge of the area by Tumimo Shabani, excuse me, it was actually Anton Sorensen who picked him out, pulled a goal back to at least provide late life for Charlotte, but unable to claw their way back into it. Your look at our full-time stats. Charlotte actually the better of the shots and more shots on goal. The difference, though, Knoxville far more clinical, scoring with 2 of their 4 shots on frame, also having near 60% of the ball. A strong display from One Knox, who took the better of the chances and finished their moments more effectively as well. All in all, the only stat that really mattered was the scoreline, and Knoxville finished as 2-1 victors. Here is your look at how the bracket is affected by this result. One Knoxville now next week will host FC Naples in the semifinals. On the other side of things, Portland Hearts of Pine awaits the victor of Spokane Velocity and South Georgia Tormenta. That a match that kicks off later tonight. The winner of that one hosting Portland in the other semifinal. Well, that is your look at the bracket. One Knoxville securing a spot in the semifinals for the first time in club history as 2-1 victors. Goals from Sievert Haukley and Stavros Zarkostis make the difference. A late goal from Cheney, unable to power a comeback. That is where things finish on Rocky Top. For our terrific crew, I'm Sam Goldfarb, saying so long, where Knoxville are 2-1 victors. Have a great rest of your night, everyone. Saying so long from Knoxville.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.